Welcome XGW fans, this is Y2K2400, aka XGW's Y2K, and my guest at this time, he is a former tag team champion, former intercontinental champion, one of the greatest hardcore champions in XGW history, multiple time world champion, 7 times to be exact, 7 times. That's a lot of championships. Grand Slammer, this man is Cactus.
Oh wow! I'm laughing because I'm a little bit tipsy and inebriated at the particular time. But that was one hell of a fucking intro. I didn't know who the fuck you were talking about for a second. Like, no, not me. No.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, go ahead.
Before you start this interview, I want to let it be known I'm not pulling punches. If any feelings are hurt by the end of this podcast, so be it. I'll answer just about any fucking question you throw at me to the best of my ability. But what I'm hoping, by the end of this, everybody has a better understanding or view of what the admins go through and the shit that we have to deal with.
No.
And to hopefully, like, really give you a metaphorical satire of what it's like. If you've never seen the show, I want everyone to go on Netflix and watch all 7 seasons of Sons of Anarchy. And that will literally sum up how we admins see XGW. If you've seen the series already, go back and rewatch it. And what I want you to do is look at the Motorcycle Club and place each of the admins as one of them. And I'll tell you up front who's who. Animals is Jibs. Ice is Opie. Pawn is Bobby Elvis. Nighthawk is Piney Winston. Mikey is Tig. I'm Jax Teller. And DJ is Clay Morrow. And Logan, who used to be an admin, is Otto Delaney. So go back and watch that show. If you haven't watched it, go watch it and place us admins in place of the actual members of the Sons of Anarchy and look at Charming as XGW, and you'll understand a lot of the times the shit that we have to do in order to keep the shit running. So that's the way we kind of interact, the way that Motorcycle Club acts. So I just want to get that out the way. So at the end of the day, you guys will have a better fucking understanding of the bullshit that we have to go through. So without further ado, I guess I'm ready for this interview, shoot, whatever you want to call it.
All right. And I understand that we recently had a birthday not too long ago, Sir Cactus.
Shut up. I'm 63 fucking years old. Yeah.
63. Someone's getting old. Whoop whoop. I'm just kidding. All right, but let's get down to business. All right. So recently you retired at the moment from being an XGW admin. Why did you decide to choose now to take this break from being an admin?
I found myself to the point where when I lose control and I fucking snap, usually me and Animals keep the balance between each other. If I'm pissed off and he calms me and vice versa, which again is why I say being the admins is a real close satire of Sons of Anarchy. If you see the relationship between Chibs and Jax, then you'll fucking understand the relationship between me and Animals. And it gets to a point where I couldn't deal with the same bullshit. I've been doing this admin gig since, late 09? Without a break? Like, straight in all around. It was doing XCW and NGW at the time that they both were around before it combined into XGW.
Mm.
So without a fucking break all those years and all the bullshit that probably started within the last 2 or 3 years, and it being a repeat bullshit and all the other stress, it just got to a point where it was like you just kind of fucking lose control and you snap. And it's kind of like the Batman thing. You either die young or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I saw a lot of DJ coming out of me, and that's one thing that we were trying to avoid. So it was like, well, I either say fuck it and leave the league altogether, or I'll sit back and take like a little break. And it's like, well, while I'm thinking about it, do I even want to fucking come back?
Yeah.
And that was Nighthawk's advice, which is another weird kind of thing why I tie SOA to HGW, because the whole thing with Sons of Anarchy was John Teller and Piney Winston served in Vietnam, came back in '67. They wanted a structure like the Army, but to live off the land and all that. How it ties into XGW, Bug Jacer and Nighthawk started a league, basically to say, hey, this is what we can play without people being cheap online, spamming, freezing, the whole nine. So that's why I kind of say Nighthawk is Piney Winston, one of the original first 9 of SOA. John Teller, Bug Chaser, who isn't in the league anymore, so they started that. So it's kind of like that's how HGW always ties into SOA and shit like that. So after doing this so long, just kind of, I needed a break. I'm still not sure if I'm going to come back, which will cause another issue with, well, what do you do with work now? And then the parasites will come out, oh, he's not coming back, let me be Randy Orton. And that's going to be a whole other fucking can of worms, and I'm not sure how to do that, because that'll be another one of those HBK Dolph Ziggler, Undertaker type things. Like, oh, what do we do now? You know, he's gone. And me and Animals made a pact a long time ago. You know, if you leave, then I'm leaving, because I'm not sticking around for this shit. And then it kind of became a domino effect with Ice saying, well, fuck it, if you two niggas is gone, I'm out too. And Pawn said the same fucking thing. So I really have to really wonder. And a few members said, well, fuck, man, if you're not around, you don't need me fucking coming around either. So I really have to wonder about that, if I'm going to come back in 16 or not. So it's just like a needed vacation to clear my head for a little bit.
All right, I respect that. Now, I understand it was less than, I think, a month or 2 ago, you came up with a new section on the site called Admin Alley. Now, Admin Alley, explain to us a little bit about what Admin Alley was supposed to be and how exactly it worked out.
Admin Alley was, I'll take credit, was not one of my greatest ideas. It was meant to be a place where if it was a question or a concern that a member had, we could honestly and, you know, without whatever, just come out and say, hey, this is the reason this happened, blah, 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 blah. But it as usual, gets turned into something else. You know, the purity on which I ran it by them to create it turned into, well, I'm not happy about anything that the admins do. You know, why is this and why is that? And I have to remember when Nighthawk and Bug Chaser started this whole thing, we as members just took what the fuck happened. We didn't have the option to question and say, well, hey, I don't like this guy as champion. Why am I here? And blah, 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 blah. We didn't have that fucking freedom. And I was talking to Animals the other day, and he made a mention of the mindset of how we were in NGW and XCW and how the mood changed in XGW. And this has become for the last, since WWE 12, where it was said, oh, the members have a say, you know, the members are the lifeblood and blah, 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 blah. So it kind of became like you want to make an improvement. What do you feel it needs improvement? And it didn't really work out the way I planned. So I take full responsibility for that. It was done with good intentions, but a lot of times I forget what kind of members we have, and stuff like that usually doesn't work with the type of members or few members that we have in XGW. So it was meant to help improve the league, but in fact, all it really did was actually kind of make it worse, and you kind of saw who clicked up, and you know, just a bunch of unneeded added drama that we didn't fucking need. So that was my fault on that. I'll take the blame on that one.
So creating Admin Alley ultimately opened Pandora's box, and that's not something we really would want to happen. Pandora's box
Pretty
being opened
much.
and exposed. Oh look,
Right.
exposure! uh, but isn't Admin Alley somewhat similar to the whole comment and concern section that we have on the site? I mean,
No, the comments and concerns were more like updates to say, hey, this 2K16 roster's coming out soon, blah, 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 blah. Start looking at your picks. Comments and concerns would be more so like to let you know, hey, here are the rules for the randomizer. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, Battle Bowl signups are coming up soon. Yada, yada, yada.
it,
Admin Alley was just basically, hey, I don't understand why this is going down.
hmm,
Explain it to me.
alright.
Like, hey, well, like Rail made a good point. Hey, why was I booked in this match? Or why am I not blah 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 blah? And it's like, okay, there is a signature, and there's a GIF in my signature that says, "Don't ask questions that you're not ready for the answers for, and don't make judgments about things you can't begin to understand." That is a creed and a model of mine in which I live by as an admin, or a former admin, I should say,
Hmm.
because I really say, don't ask me a question if you're not ready for said fucking answer. And I've noticed a lot of the members are quick to say, hey, well, this is what you admins fucked up. But then when you hit them with the facts, they get quiet. So, it's always, oh, well, this is the problem. You admins did this or you didn't do this. Admin Alley was more so, okay, this is how you feel. This is your opinion. Okay, let me help you, or let us help each other to try to link up to have a proper solution that benefits everybody and not just the person who made the post.
Alright.
And given the little greedy, selfish, cocky, arrogant mindsets of a lot of the members, if it doesn't benefit them instead of benefiting the whole league as a whole, that's when shit begins to go sour.
Okay.
That's the huge difference between Admin Alley and comments and concerns.
Okay. Well, that answered my question. Alright. Next question. Um, what is up with the divisions? What was the purpose behind creating the ladders and divisions? I mean, what was up with that? Why did you
Um,
create the ladder system, the division system?
that was an easier way to help people progress. As far as it's just like, okay, the things that we see in WWE, we're pretty much not going to see in HW.
Okay.
Guys like Zack Ryder, you'll never see world champion in WWE.
Alright.
In XGW, it's possible. But even Michael Cole almost became close to being a world champion, or at least a U.S. champion, but we had to cut that out because people were complaining. Oh, why does world champion have Michael Cole? He's embarrassing everybody. Blah 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 blah. The bracket system was basically to set everybody up to basically achieve and score and all that. It's like, oh well, you don't walk in with, and I'm not knocking Reyes. I'm just saying this as an example. You don't walk in with R-Truth saying, "Oh, I'm going for the world title." No, you have to earn your way. And in NGW, we didn't really have a bracket, but we pretty much knew who was going for what title, who was in what division. But it's just like, yeah, we had to switch that. We had to switch that mindset because everybody in the league feels in their mind when they sign up, hey, I'm going to be world champion. I'm going to be the best one ever. I'm going to hold the title. No one's going to defeat me. There is no one that's going to walk in and sign up into a league and say, oh, well, I want to be world champion, but I'm just going to go ahead and settle for IC. No. It's kind of like the whole Mortal Kombat thing. You build up through brackets. And the funny thing about it is, everybody, I hate the X Factor's for the crumb bums. No, the X Factor's not for the crumb bums. That's kind of like your NXT, your training ground.
Exactly.
Because how can you expect to be way up there and considered a world champion when you can't even win the X Factor belt?
I mean, Kofi Kingston's a great example. He started from X Factor, and next thing we know...
And look at him now.
Exactly.
Look at him now. Jammers has made Kofi Kingston a credible, established character in XGW, and he started from the bottom. And that's what kind of gets me. The new guys come in, and you explain the brackets to them, and it's like, okay, so where does this one start? Oh, well, the history with this guy is the last belt he had was such and such. The new guys get it, and they go about their business. Some of the older guys that have been here like 2 or 3 years, or at least the last 2 games, I RP every week, and I feel I should be here. And honestly, I'll tell you a secret when it comes to the ladders, how to advance really quickly.
All right.
And I can say this now, and a lot of people still won't adapt to it. But there are prime examples of the method to my madness with these fucking ladders. And I'm not sounding like a dick rider.
Okay.
But it's the truth. In 14, NCOG proves my theory as far as when it comes to the ladders. In 15, Iron Man did it.
All right.
It's real simple to get through the brackets really quick. Extremely quick. Iron Man did it this year. NCOG did it last year. NCOG had the best fucking year in 14 with Scott Hall. And it broke my fucking heart that Scott Hall was not in 15 for him to continue.
I know.
And truth be told, the quickest way, true enough, if you pick someone who does not have history, they start at X Factor. Okay. Everyone feels that the X Factor belt is an abomination. Oh, I'm better than the hardcore belt. Well, here's a little XGW, NGW fact. There was a time when the hardcore belt was more credible and more respectable and more paid attention to than the World Heavyweight title.
Ah, that's interesting.
Not many people know that. There have been times when every other belt was more important than the World Heavyweight title, but cats don't want to hear that. Oh, if I get the belt, I'll be the man. No. It's not the belt that makes the man, it's the man that makes the belt. Because you can have the world title draped across your shoulder and no one pays attention or gives a fuck about what you're doing. But the IC champ over there, his RPs might not be as great and perfect in all detail, but people are paying attention to him because he's an interesting champion.
Okay.
And the way to fly through the brackets really quick, X Factor. If you defend your belt successfully 3 times, guess what? The admin's going to start looking and seeing, okay, what can he do in the next division? That's all you got to do is defend your belt successfully 3 times to advance from one bracket to the next. And also have an interesting storyline as a champ. And I don't mean you just have to go to the ring and RP, oh, I'm the greatest champ ever. You can do an RP with him backstage, randomly doing something. As long as you showing that you got potential and you defend that belt successfully 3 times, yeah, you can go to the next bracket. And you ain't even got to drop the belt that you have. Because Iron Man had the X Factor and the US at the same time.
Yep.
And then he had the IC and something else at the same time.
It was IC, US, and then after he lost the US, it was IC and tag belts.
Right, and he had an interesting story going at the time with the Syndicate. Yep. We're here to change wrestling. turn it credible the way it used to be. Incog in 14 killed it with Scott Hall. Got Price for Glory. Became tag team champion. The whole fucking nine. Could not get the brass ring and get world title before the game was over with. Sucked ass.
That broke
Oh,
my...
I want to start at X Factor. Quickest way out of X Factor besides defending the belt 3 times? Get a tag partner and win the tag belts. That way, if you and your partner both start off with someone with no history, start doing tag team promos together. Form a tag team. Win the belts. Oh, wow, by default, you've won the tag team belts. So you're out of X Factor and you both are lumped into the US belt division or IC division, whatever show you're on. The cats don't get that because the mentality in XGW for a lot of people is, I don't want to tag up with someone. I want to do it all on my own. Blah, 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 blah. And then when you do it on your own and you wind up sucking most of the time, then you want to blame the admins. That's the quickest way through the ladders. 3 title defenses. Well, what if I only won 2? If you're showing a fucking good-ass effort, the admins will throw you a bone. It's been known to happen.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of people this game get bones thrown to them.
Yeah.
And then, matter of fact, I'm not going to give away a lot of admin lingo the way we refer to some members. If it comes up in questions that you ask later on, which I don't know which fucking questions you ask, I'll mention it. But there is some admin lingo that only we admins know when it comes to discussing the league and discussing members.
All right. Now, what has been by far the greatest feud that you've been involved in as Randy Orton? The character.
Oh, shit. There's been a lot of them. There's been a lot of great feuds. The first one that probably is holding dearest to my heart is probably HBK and Orton. Because that was my very first feud. And that wasn't like a one-hitter quitter like a lot of people do with their feuds. Oh, I'm going to feud with you like 2 or 3 weeks and I'm done. Oh, I'm going to feud with you a month and I'm done. We've shut our load. This feud has gone on since 2009. Like, our first pay-per-view match was Dark Resolution in NGW.
Damn, that long?
And like I said, that's how long me and Rice went at it, and it wasn't no punk shit. Like, we literally went back and forth. Like, we attacked each other backstage, we attacked each other in the ring. It was a different mindset back then because there was no, oh, you can't attack my character rule back then. If you're fucking feuding, we went at it. We set the bar for, like, feuds back then. Like, to the point, the hardcore belt, like I said, the hardcore belt at one particular time was more important than the world title because me and him went back and forth at it. To the point where people that wanted to go for the hardcore belt, it was like, well, I'm either get sweet chin music or I'm going to catch an RKO. Can I go for another belt? Because I don't want to get in that shit with them. Because these assholes, they like pull out weapons, the whole fucking nine. It's going to be a fucking brutal ass match. And I'm not trying to get caught in that. And I forget who was John Morrison at the time in NGW, but when he got to the point that no one was paying attention to the world champion because the shit that me and Rice were doing, it became like, man, fuck this. And Morrison threw the belt in the trash. And he left the league.
Jesus.
Like, the dude that played this Morrison, like, left.
Oh my God.
And recently, maybe like a year ago, the Animals told me, like, I hadn't even realized, but DAI was beefing with Lethal Injection. So Orton and Punk started a long time ago. I should say the seeds for that started a long time ago back in NGW. I just hadn't realized it because he was covered in the whole faction versus faction. I've had great feuds with Rogue when he was The Miz. Who else? I don't know. After a while, I think I just kind of stopped feuding and defended. more so or worked on developing Orton more depth to him. But the best feuds I'd have to say I've had, um, Punk and Orton, be it in the form of them one on one, or be it in the form of DAI versus Lethal Injection, Orton versus Miz, um, Orton versus DiBiase. I'd even have to probably say Orton versus Edge when DJ was Edge. We had the first ever in XGW history my bitch match, um, which I won. He thought he was going to get over on me, but I got him. Yeah, those are like the top feuds that I remember.
Right.
As far as that involved Orton. Like I said, a lot of them were lengthy feuds. Like the longest ones have been Punk and HBK. Like everything else might have ran like 3, maybe 2 or 3 months, but the longest ones to date have been with HBK and CM Punk. I even had a little fun with Ambrose and Triple H and Ton.
Oh my God.
Henry.
Rest
That was some fucking fun. Hugging, yeah. That was a great feud.
Rest in peace, my former tag team partner, Ton. We love you, pal. We love you. Yeah, those are good times. Those were very good times.
Yeah.
Goodness. All right. Next question. And most members would probably want to know this, but why does every time a member goes and disrespects an admin, they're met with punishment? But remember this guy, Y2K does it, you admins ignore it, and instead of punishing him, he gets promoted. Why is that?
For the most part, it kind of revolves around the fact of when me and Animals retire, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, who do you leave the keys to the kingdom to? And Y2K is a dick, but at the same time, when we started to notice he would have these admin qualities like, by the rule book, the rules say, it was kind of like, well, fuck, man, if we ever decide to fucking leave, he's a stickler for the fucking rules. If we can pair him with the right individual, man, we can fucking retire and leave this shit to his ass. So it became more so like Y2K is fucking harmless in any fucking way. He jokes, he has the right amount of charisma to fucking do it. He's just like a diamond in the fucking rough. Because at one particular time, he kind of took a little shit too seriously. He couldn't tell when we were joking with him and when we were fucking serious, which us being serious with him was kind of like far and few in between. The most serious thing we've said to him is, hey, would you be cool with being an admin and training, because we're not going to be doing this shit forever, and you are a stickler for the fucking rule book, which we try to stick to it as much as possible, but at the same time, we want to give breathing room. So it's not even the fact that Y2K doesn't get punished, which he did get punished because Piney pulled out that shotgun on that ass, and the rest is history when it came to the IC title. Nighthawk was a little bit fed up with said disrespect, and it's bad when Hawk comes out with that shotgun and lays said law. Because Hawk is just like I said, Hawk is Piney Winston, like one of the first 9 of SOA, so he's like real quiet. He don't say shit at all unless he needs to. So when Hawk comes out and starts laying down law, you've really pissed someone off. And for Hawk to even take disciplinary action and take something from you is a whole nother level, because Hawk is quiet. He doesn't really say much unless need be. He adds an extra perspective, puts in his 2 cents, when asked, but otherwise than that, he pretty much goes with the flow.
Shit. Damn. So that Y2K guy, Mm-hmm. My goodness. My goodness. So I have to ask, now that you're retired currently as an XGW